So today I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can connect yarn. So in this case, let's say that you're working on a project and you run out of yarn and you need to put them together. So 1, really just tie a knot. It's as simple as that. Some people are not a fan of this because you might be able to feel that if you do it loose enough, or sometimes some people might want to do this really tight to try to get it as close to the yarn as possible, stuff like that. And then once you crochet, it kind of gets lost in there. The problem is, depending on the yarn and your project and a few other things, you might be able to feel that knot. So not everybody is a fan of doing it this way. Our second option is going to be to splice it. So we're going to pull these apart, and this has 4 in it. So you just have to kind of pull it apart and you'll get 2 and 2. You can kind of see there's 2 there and 2 there. So we're splitting it in half. So I don't know, maybe a couple inches. And you really want to get them like frayed. So even like the ends, I would really pull those apart too. See how it's getting really frayed on the end? This is going to make it a lot easier to stick it together. So we want to get it nice and frayed. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other end, the end that we're trying to connect it to. The key here is water. What I'm going to do is hold this in my hand, and we're going to get some water on it. We want this very wet and my hand to have water on it as well. So I'm going to lie that there. And then I'm going to take the other end and kind of go over top of this one. Now if you can intertwine them a little bit, so they're overlapping, that's going to be better. But we want them all 4 in our hand like this, and we're going to get it wet. Okay, so there's 2 things. We want water and we want friction with like heat. So now what I'm going to do is start rubbing my hands together. So we want to just keep going like this. Here we have it all connected. You can kind of see it's definitely more bumpy and it's more fuzzy, but when you're working on your project, it'll all fit together and you won't even notice it. This last method is actually my favorite, and my grandma taught me how to do this, so I'm not sure if there's a name for it, but you just need a fairly large needle with a big eye on it, something that the thread can go through, or the yarn, I mean. So we're going to just put the yarn, doesn't matter which end it is, just one of the ends, and then just leave a short tail on it, so just enough so it doesn't fall off. We're now just going to weave in and out of this yarn. Make sure that your needle's not too big, or else this does not work. So we're gonna, you can kind of see I'm getting right in the middle of all this. And it's starting to fill up where you can't even see the needle anymore. I usually recommend doing at least 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches of this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the needle end, and the end, not, this one is part of the needle. I need to grab the end of that's on the needle, if that makes sense. And we're just going to pull both. Oops. And you can see, I mean, it is working because it's on there pretty good. But we're just going to give that a yank. Okay. And we're going to keep going until that happens, that comes off. Now we're going to grab not the tail part, but the actual yarn, and you're just going to gently and slowly pull that. There we go. Now this one, for some reason, it just like frayed all crazy. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to cut that off. I don't need that. We just want the yarn to stick together. Then I give it a nice little twist. And there you go. So it's kind of the same thing as the splicing. I just find this a lot faster. So the next time you run out of yarn and you need to attach it, you can definitely try one of these 3 options.